All right, so let's talk about a mind map. Now, if you've been in my class before, all of you have very likely created a mind map. A mind map is a method of brainstorming that's a little bit more visual, which is why I really like it for art. And that's one of the things that I like to do every year with any portfolio class. Your job as an AP student or a visual art portfolio student is going to be to drive your own art making by coming up with your own subjects, your own processes, your own motivation. And that's hard. That's hard for any artist to do of any level, let alone a student artist. A lot of the artwork you've made to this point has been teacher driven. I've been giving you ideas, and we need to try to break out of that, move past that, and start creating your own ideas for what you want to make. Now, at the beginning of the year here, I'm going to help you out with some prompts. But by the end of the first semester, each project should really be determined by your interests. So, a mind map is a way for us to brainstorm. You don't want to think too heavily about it. It's really just come up with random ideas and jot them down and don't think about it. Don't stress, don't analyze in the moment. You just write it down. It may be nonsense, it may be gibberish, but if it pops in your head while you are in the process of mind mapping, you write it down. And then when you come to a stopping point, you go back and you look at all of the terms that you have filled a page with, and you start to piece together an idea. You may see one thing that jumps out at you, like I want to make an artwork about that, or you might start seeing themes evolved. So, for example, I'm going to make a mind map and I'm going to start with the word print. Your starting term should be up to you. It could be something that you don't think about too hard. It could just be like patterns or houses, or it could be like a subject that you really like, landscapes, or portraits. It could be something about like a social or political issue. It could be about a philosophical issue. Like I once did a mind map and I started with the word evolve because I was ready to move on to some new artworks and I wanted to start with the idea of evolving. Right now, I'm going to use the word print because this has been something that's been on my mind. And I'm going to start by writing down anything I can think of. And they might be processes. Um, on clay, let's see. I'm going to talk about different methods of using a technique. And then I might come to some images that I want to use in those in some processes, or maybe I go a totally different route. Okay, so you get the gist. I want to fill this page. And you can have fun with it. Visually speaking, mind maps can be really cool looking. If you want to like doodle on here, if you want to make your bubbles look really interesting, if you want to do directional arrows or something like that, you can, as you're doing this, make it look interesting because sometimes just doodling on this then sometimes inspires you to do new things or come up with some more things to write down. You gotta let your mind relax, let the ideas flow, and then let's say you're done. You've got this whole thing filled out. What I want you to do is maybe think of something that you want to use for a sketch. It might be a sketch, it might end up being a full project, but maybe you go into, like, let's say I wrote down retro patterns. Maybe I start drawing some retro patterns, and figuring out what I could do with that. And on a new sketchbook page, not on my mind map, although you can sketch on your mind map, I might start developing an idea. So we'll talk about what we're going to do with the ideas, but the first step is to make a mind map. Start with a word that inspires you, and then just write down everything you could possibly think, and branch it out. And your branches can be crazy, they can be very neat and tidy. It's totally up to you. I want to see your process of thinking about subject matter, and this is a really great way to do that. So let's get to mind mapping.